Number 10 is a window manufacturer. He projects that the profit in dollars from making windows, X number of windows per week, will be this junk here, which is a quadratic function. How many windows per week must be manufactured to make a profit? A profit. Well, a profit has to be more than $0. In other words, greater than 0. So we can take this quadratic function here. Let's just write out the guts of it here, which is negative x squared plus 45x minus 450. And that stuff has to be greater than 0. And if it is, then we have a profit. So, once again, I don't like the negative sign here. If I was to multiply this all by -1, I'd have to flip this sign, and that's a rule that you may or may not know. The easier way to think about that is to let's move everything over to the other side. So I'll add x squared to both sides. I'll subtract 45x from both sides. I'll add 450 to both sides. Keep that the same. There's nothing left on this side. And so this is my quadratic function just moved over to the other side, so I don't have to deal with these negatives. So now it's in a format that I'm familiar with, that I'm more comfortable with. I'm subtracting 45 here, so I've got to come up with two numbers that add to negative 45 and multiply to positive 450. It just so happens that I do know of a couple, and that would be 30 times 15. 15 times 30 is 45, and they also, 15 times 30 is 450, and they add up to 45. So I've got 30 and 15 here. And so that means on the old number line, there's 0 over here, there's 15, there's 30. I've got three regions to deal with. I've got region A, region B, region C. Now it's a greater than sign, so whatever it is, I'm going to use a little circle. And we're going to test these regions to find out which of these are profitable. So let's start with 0. If we plug 0 in here, we've got 0 plus 0 minus 450 greater than 0? No, it's not. So it's not this region over here. Definitely not that region. Let's try something in the middle here. Let's try 20. So negative 20 squared is 400. So negative 400, I'm going to have to write this down. Negative 400 plus 45 times 20, which is 900, minus 450. Is that greater than 0? Well, that equals 50. So yeah, that is greater than 0. So yes, area B is correct. That is profitable. And area C, let's try 100. So using 100 squared is 10,000, so negative 10,000 plus 45 times x plus 4,500 minus 450, and that's not very much. That's negative 10,000, negative 5,500. That's negative 5,950, which is not greater than 0, so not over there either. So which areas are greater than 0? Well, let's put little circles there to designate those as this space in here. So x has to be greater than 15, and it has to be less than 30 in order to make a profit. And if you want to think about that intuitively, if he makes too few, he can't cover his fixed costs like rent and taxes and light and all that sort of thing. If he makes too many, then he's going to be paying overtime to his workers, and his machines will break down and cost more money. And that's why there's this happy medium where he'll be profitable too much and it's not profitable, too little and it's not profitable. And that's a very realistic representation of the manufacturing world.